This is the weather forecast video for Monday, January 23rd, 2012. Let's take a look at the satellite image from last evening. You can see a storm system over the middle part of the country, bringing some thunderstorms along the Ohio and Mississippi Valley with some severe weather down in that area and some wintry weather up here and another storm over the west. Watch warning map from just before midnight. You can see tornado watch over the deep south and into Tennessee and Kentucky. That's until 6 a.m. with some severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings, winter weather advisories up north, out east, and off to the west. QPF chart precipitation over the next 5 days through Friday evening at 6 o'clock shows some copious amounts of rain over the south, copious amounts of precip over the west. Here, most of the precip is through mostly today. So let's take a look at the 0Z GFS Model Run. This is at 6 p.m. this evening. You can see the energy pulling out into the Great Lakes, another piece of energy diving into the desert south and west. And with that, the storm is moving off. The snow will come to an end early today, mainly by the middle of the day. Any flurries will not amount to much more than that. Tuesday, a little bit of rain south of us, and maybe a bit of snow in Nebraska, and some lake effect over the eastern Great Lakes, but the northwest continues to get pounded by precip, which continues into Wednesday. Some showers and maybe even a few thunderstorms over the south with that system to our south in the lower and middle Mississippi Valley, with snow over the Dakotas. Heading to Thursday, still mainly dry and mainly seasonal with 20s and 30s across the state. Snow to our north, rain to our south, and we're stuck in the middle. A little bit cooler here on Friday as a cold front settles down and colder air comes in. Temperatures back at least into the 20s for highs and lows in the lower teens. We head to Saturday. It'll be about the same. Lake effect over the Great Lakes and some precip over the Pacific Northwest, and the rest of the nation is dry and fairly quiet. And that even gets quieter on Sunday. Some lake effect over the eastern lakes, some snow over the Intermountain West, and that's it. Mainly dry. But it starts to get a little bit of active heading into a week from today. On the 30th, you can see a little bit of a energy diving into the desert southwest with a split flow, and all of a sudden, boom, precip starts to develop everywhere. We start getting some rain and snow across the Midwest, down into the south with some rain, and some snow continues over the Colorado Rockies. We head further into February. Here's Groundhog Day, the 2nd. Here comes the system with energy. This is the storm we've been talking about for several days now, this Groundhog Day storm, and here it is on Thursday the 2nd at 6 a.m. The low would be about near Emporia, Kansas. Some heavy snow over the Dakotas and Nebraska, if this is right, with maybe a little bit of rain. This is 6 p.m. The low moves to about Kirksville, Missouri. Most of the precipitation by this point will be in the form of snow, maybe a mix over southeast Iowa, if this is right. This is 6 a.m. on the 3rd. The low moves to about Madison, Wisconsin. If this is right, we could see some moderate to maybe even heavy snow possibly with this system. And by 6 p.m. on the 3rd, that storm, the low moves up into the northern parts of Lake Michigan, and snow begins to taper off to a little bit of light flurry activity. We head to the end of the forecast on the 7th. Big ridge over the west, big trough over the east, and with the trough pretty much bringing the cold air straight from the North Pole down, that's going to mean it's going to be cold and maybe a little bit of snow over the lakes, and pretty much the rest of the country is dry except maybe far south Texas at that time. So it's going to get cold in February. Thank you for tuning in to the weather forecast video. We'll have another one tomorrow.